Australia's biggest gas project, Woodside's Northwest Shelf, has received final approval from Federal Environment Minister Murray Watt to extend operations through to 2070. It's subject to almost 50 strict conditions to protect nearby ancient Indigenous rock art. But some traditional owners aren't convinced.
In May, the project got a provisional tick for a 40-year extension, but haggling between Woodside and the government over the conditions held up the final approval until now.
It has taken some time to reach this final decision, and I think people should take comfort from that we've taken this seriously.
The government imposing 48 conditions, including a reduction of nitrogen oxide gases by 60% by 2030 and a target to reach net zero emissions by 2050. The Greens sceptical.
This project will release 6.1 billion tonnes of emissions, and also net zero till 2050 is not good enough. We need net zero by 2035.
The minister also made a separate partial declaration to protect ancient Indigenous carvings.
The declaration will mean additional legal protections are placed over part of the area to ensure that Murujuga's ancient rock art is appropriately protected into the future. Importantly, this decision does not stop industry from operating in the vicinity of Murujuga.
The move ends a 3-year legal battle launched by traditional custodian Raylene Cooper, who has called the decision a slap in the face and is seeking further legal advice.
We'll need to look more closely at the conditions on the Northwest Shelf approval to see whether those conditions provide any additional protections.
Other traditional custodians grateful for the additional protection.
You know, it's our history and it needs to be protected, and it should have been protected a long time ago. And, you know, now that these double layers of protection are here, we do welcome it. And yes, we're very, very happy that this has taken place.
Woodside has welcomed the final approval and acknowledged the conditions requiring additional monitoring and management of air emissions. The company says it remains committed to protecting the Murujuga cultural landscape. Courtney Withers, ABC News, Perth.
Northwest residents have been long divided over the extension of Woodside's gas plant. While some are now embracing the stability it will bring with employment and local business, others fear not everyone will benefit.
Alongside ancient rock art and native wildlife, the Karratha gas plant is set to flare for decades to come. Woodside first applied to extend the facility 6 years ago. The city's peak business body relieved. The final approval a confidence boost for local business.
When people have that continuity, they can then have confidence investing in their staff, equipment, training, and all of those things that are going to make the Karratha business economy stronger.
Woodside says the project supports thousands of jobs and has contributed over $300 million to Pilbara communities. But many argue those economic benefits don't flow through to everyone.
For our members, for the Irumagadu community, for the local Aboriginal community, I guess we hope to see some improvement in conditions. Right now, the local Aboriginal community has some of the most extreme economic disadvantage in the country, and that's on the doorstep of billion-dollar industry.
They talk about the economic benefits and gains. Well, some of our community don't see that in the full effect.
That's something one of the traditional owners of Murujuga impressed upon the minister when she penned this letter to him in August. It describes how people are living in poverty while trying to fight for the landscape. The approval granted with a raft of conditions, traditional owners now focusing on their detail.
It's really important to remember that in the Pilbara, the traditional owner community are inundated with environmental, heritage, major Commonwealth approvals on a daily, weekly basis. So comprehending and going through what this means in complex legal language can be challenging.
Understanding the role First Nations people will play in implementing these conditions, top of the list. Mietta Adams, ABC News, Karratha.